Hey, welcome everybody to another live policebackground.net, Becoming a Cop, the Police Applicant podcast. We're all coming to you live tonight. Got another quick episode for you. And let me throw some stuff up here for you. You can reach us at policebackground.net. And I'd like to come on here live every once in a blue moon and give you some updates on stuff. So tonight, what I'm going to talk about is my background investigator hates me. And the answer to that is maybe, probably not. But the whole thing with background investigators is kind of interesting, man, because I've been around background investigators for going on 28 years doing police background investigations. And a lot of times, candidates get the impression that their background investigator just hates them so much. Is that the case? It's not always the case. Most background investigators are pretty cool. They're pretty cool people. A lot of times they're pretty chill. Some of them are pretty serious about but that's them. That's who they are. How does it transfer to you as a candidate is another story. So let's talk about the different interactions that you have with your background investigators. So let's say you get a background investigator who is not the nicest person in the world. Let's go back. Let's even go back farther. Let's say you get a background investigator who's really cool. And that's the way it's going to be. And they're just taking the information in. They don't take anything seriously. But let's talk about the background investigators that give off a bad vibe. I'll be very honest with you. Some background investigators should not be background investigators. A lot of times they're thrown in there. They just don't have good personalities. They don't want to be there, or they're not very good at their job. And they're not likable people. And does that transfer to you as a candidate? Yeah, it does. Does it mean that they don't like you personally? No, usually not. Usually not. But you get some background investigators, they're just gruff. They're just gruff, and they sound mean. They always sound like they're in a bad mood. They just want the information. They really don't want to talk to you. When you meet with them in person, they give off the impression that it's you. And trust me, it's not you. Let me change this background because it's annoying me. So let's see here. Go here, go to the background, and let's just do this. I don't like that one either, but whatever. So let's say that the background investigator they're just in a bad mood all the time. I've known tons of background investigators like that. Then there's background investigators who you think that they're investigating a murder, and you're the homicide suspect, and they have you in the room and the lights swinging and they're in your face and they're yelling at you or they're talking really mean to you. That's just the way they are. That's their thing, that they're trying to break you or they're trying to make you confess to stuff and things like that. That's just the way they are. Whether they're likable people or not, they're not there to be your friend. But most background investigators, they can at least be kind to you. A lot of times, a background investigator, you meet them and you walk out of the meet and greet interview and you feel like a piece of crap because they make you feel terrible. They make you feel like you are worthless, or you take it that way. But what happens with background investigators is a lot of times they're a police officer, and then they take their street police, personality that they learned in the street or whatever, however they did police work, and then they bring it into background investigations, and they move from patrol to an admin position, and their personality follows them. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that probably 90% of the time, when a background investigator sounds mean or they sound gruff, um, it's more than likely not you. It's just their personality. And I wouldn't, and I would encourage you not to take it seriously, but don't be surprised if some background investigators come off like that. But what I want to, where it translates into the background, let's talk about a couple things because I get calls about this all the time about contacting the background investigator. Because if you get a background investigator that seems like they don't like you, or they seem kind of gruff, or they seem kind of mean, then you go, should I call them? Should I text? Should I email them? Or should I wait? Let's take those things one at a time. If you're in the background and you get an email, I'm your background investigator. Here's my contact information. Do you respond to that? Of course you do. Now you have their contact information. Does that give you carte blanche to go and like contact them anytime? The majority of background investigators that I know, they don't want you to contact them unless they contact you. And so the rule that I would say when it comes to contacting background investigators is if you've got something that you've got to give to the investigator, whether it's a report or some paperwork or documents and things like that, just email it. Just email it. Say, here's the information you requested, or here's some information I think that may be helpful, some paperwork, something like that. If your background investigator gives you their cell phone number, I would refrain from texting them. That's not why they gave you unless they tell you that. But most background investigators, they don't want to be anything except for emailed. And when it comes to text, I would hesitate unless they tell you to text them. Should you call your background investigator? Not really. Not really. Not unless you get a voicemail or something or an email saying, "Hey, give me a call." I would not call your because that's something that you want to keep. If you can call your background investigator, if you're allowed to call your background investigator, it's not to say, "Hey, so just calling." I would have candidates call me and they go, "Hey, so I'm just calling to find out if you need anything." And I would always I always tell them, "Okay, so what is it you're fishing for? What do you want to know?" Because I always knew that when they called me, they're not calling me really to find out if I need anything. Because if I need something, I'll get a hold of them. So I always knew when candidates would call that they are wondering about their background, and everybody is. And so I would hesitate though to call your background investigator. Um, and that's something that you should hold on to those things when it comes to contacting your background investigator. I would say at minimum to just if you send an email, because most of the time when I hear this, I always get that I contacted my background investigator. I called and I emailed 3 months ago. 3 months ago. And realistically, 3 months is a long time. In background investigators world, it's not that long because they are going to get a hold of you. They're working other cases or whatever. They're going to get a hold of you when they get a hold of you. So the big deal on this, say you called your background investigator because it's been months, or you emailed the background investigator and you haven't heard anything. Here's what you should do. And this is the tough part. You should wait because the background investigator, unless they're on vacation for a month or they're just out of the office or whatever, they got your message. They got your message. And the toughest thing in the world as a police applicant is to wait. And so, um, I mean, realistically, that's pretty much for most candidates, that's what needs to be done. And it's the toughest thing in the world. Oh, I know it. I know it. You've been waiting for months. If you get with some departments and you've been waiting close to a year, and the background investigator said they turned in your file 3 months ago and you haven't heard anything, and you emailed and you called and left a message and you still haven't heard anything, wait, because that's what you need to do is just simply wait. There's nothing else. There's nothing else that you can do. Trust me. Um, one of the caveats that I would say also is that if you don't wait and you kind of keep contacting your background investigator, guaranteed you're probably going to piss them off. So you don't want to do that, man. All right, so I'm gonna get going. I hope this has helped you a little bit because all I'm telling you, it doesn't make it any easier for you, but there are some ground rules that you should know about. And if your background investigator does not contact you, guaranteed they probably got your message and they're just either too busy or for whatever reason, they're not getting a hold of you. You just have to sit on it. That's just the nature of it. And there's no reason to continually contact the background investigator. So if you have any questions about anything, let me know. I'm going to go ahead and keep doing these short videos as time comes, as I'm able to, and the questions come up. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos, and you do have questions for me. I'm happy to answer them. All right, guys, talk to you later.